Adam Silver to Mark Tatum. These men have supported these brothers. But America hasn't always done so. America, when you talk about globalizing the sport, certainly money has everything to do with it. But the other part in globalizing your brand is whitening the sport too. Because you didn't have enough white American players to excel on a level that could make the sport more profitable and what have you. And you had to rely on the brothers. If there were a bunch of Cooper Flaggs running around, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Whatever happened to diversity? It's cousins, inclusion, and equity. These are values at ESPN. Unless you're the white man. Everywhere you look, everywhere it's Stevie complaining about a lack of diversity. What the hell is he talking about? I sit here this afternoon incredibly confused. Correct me if I'm wrong here. ESPN is a network that prides itself on being dedicated to diversity, right? I mean, it's one of the reasons I refer to ESPN as the worldwide leader in woke. Every January, Stephen A. Smith is complaining about the lack of black head coaches in the NFL. Every September, ESPN has so-called stars like Crying Ryan Clark complaining about the lack of black quarterbacks in the NFL. Well, Uncle KC, what about Monica McDougal? What is she paid to complain about? Mo McDougal is the literal definition of a diversity hire. Supposedly, ESPN pays Mo McDougal to analyze the NBA, but every time I see her on First Take, the only thing Mo is capable of doing is nodding her head in agreement and making these weird facial expressions. For years, ESPN has boasted about their passionate embrace of the woke wiener and their dedication to diversity. But when it comes to the NBA being diversified, when it comes to the NBA having a surge of white dudes dominating the sport, all of a sudden, ESPN seems to think that diversity is no bueno. I wonder why? Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the main channels in the description below. I almost feel bad for these so-called stars who cover the NBA for ESPN. It is going to be a very long 15, maybe 20 years for them. Because Cooper Flagg is well on his way to becoming the next face of the NBA. Cooper Flagg doesn't care about politics, doesn't care about fighting fake racism. The only thing he cares about is playing basketball and winning. According to Stephen A. Smith, when it comes to globalizing the sport, America has never supported the brothers. Again, correct me if I'm wrong here. I know I was young in 1992. I was 7 years old when the Dream Team was at the Olympics in Barcelona, but I seem to remember the Dream Team, which was responsible for globalizing the NBA. I seem to remember the Dream Team featuring mostly black players. Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen. The face of the Dream Team was Michael Jordan. So someone please explain to me how America didn't support the brothers. This is the reason Adam Silver is so frustrated with ESPN's coverage of his league. This is the reason Adam Silver has taken games away from ESPN and given those games to NBC and Amazon. With ESPN, everything, and I mean everything, always comes back to race. Right now, the NBA is going through sort of a transitory period. Legendary players like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, these dudes are on their way out. So the league needs a new set of stars to replace them. Fortunately for the NBA, they have got a group of young stars that is more than ready to step in. Wemby, Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, Cooper Flagg. But according to ESPN, this is a real problem because some of these players lack melanin. Supposedly, Stephen A. Smith is serious about running for president. Me personally, I think it's a publicity stunt. At minimum, it's a fantasy. For the most part, Stephen A. has kept his personal life private throughout his career. Hell, most people didn't realize that Stephen A. was a father until he released his autobiography a few years ago. Once you announce that you are running for president officially, there is no such thing as privacy. All details of your private life are exposed. But let's assume for a second Stephen A. Smith is serious about running for president. Last I checked, 70% of the country is white. How are you going to secure their vote if you're constantly talking about mythical racism? How are you going to secure their vote if you're pretending to be outraged because white dudes are dominating the NBA? The truth is, this has nothing to do with diversity. The vast majority of the NBA still consists mostly of black players. The reason ESPN is pretending to be mad, for the first time since the 1980s, there is a very strong possibility that the next face of the NBA is going to require sunscreen. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later on the main channel.